Hello everyone, Alan from Metaloop here. Today we're doing an oil change on a 2022 Toyota Highlander XLE all-wheel drive V6 non-hybrid. Here you'll see all the equipment, tools, and parts I used. A list of items and links will be in the description below. We'll need to get underneath the Highlander to perform the oil change. Since we're working on an SUV, we only need a little bit more clearance. I've chosen to use car ramps over jacking up the car. And just to be extra safe, let's place some jack stands underneath. In a future video, I'll share best practices on properly jacking up a car and supporting it with jacks. For now, here's a reference of where both jack stands should be placed on our Highlander today. We'll also block off the rear wheels with some wooden chocks. Shout out to my neighbor Dale who made these for me. Lastly, before we get under the car, let's make sure it's secure and give it a good push. We can pop open the hood by pulling the lever inside of the vehicle, located here. On the hood, there's a lever right around the center. Feel around for that and the hood will release. Set the prop like I'm doing here. The grade of oil the Highlander needs is located here. It never hurts to double check. Unscrew the oil cap to help the oil drain faster. We can use the dipstick to check that the oil looks normal and that it isn't cloudy or sludgy. Alright, now let's get under the car. The Highlander has an underpanel we'll need to remove to get to the oil filter and drain plug. There are two 10mm bolts holding down the felt panel behind where I'm pointing. You'll need an extension to reach the second bolt to the left. I used a 12-inch extension here thinking that it would make things easier, but go with a 6-inch if you have one. There are 4 plastic clips still holding the panel in place. Where I'm pointing is roughly where the clips are located. Use a small screwdriver and give it a light twist to pop the clips. Then, just pull the panel downward and be more prepared than me to catch those clips. You'll need a 14mm socket and ratchet to loosen the drain plug. After breaking the bolt loose, I recommend removing it by hand to avoid getting oil on your ratchet. I also recommend disposable gloves to avoid contacting the oil and additives within. It makes cleaning up easier too. When you remove the drain plug, you're bound to get a little oil on you. Do you have any tips on proper drain plug removal techniques? Leave a comment below. Alright, now that the oil is draining, let's prepare for the next step. Here's the new OEM filter from the dealer and you'll see the instructions on how to use the plastic drain attachment that comes in the box. This attachment helps empty the oil filter housing before we pull it off. We'll take that out of the box right now, and we'll leave the rest of the stuff for later. Use the drive square from a 3/8 ratchet to remove the filter housing plug. It should come off with little resistance. Then, take the drain attachment and pop it onto the filter housing. While that finishes draining, let's set up the oil pan drain bolt with the new washer. Toyota recommends that the washer be replaced every time the drain bolt is removed, and you can get a 10-pack of these for $1 at the dealership. My old washer was stuck on the pan, so make sure to check before proceeding. Now we're ready to remove the oil filter housing. This generation of V6 needs a massive 64mm filter wrench to remove the reusable filter housing. You can buy the wrench from the dealership, but I'll link the one I'm using below. I recommend spending a little money here to get a decent quality one. The last thing you want to do is damage the filter housing with a poorly fitting wrench and have to replace the housing, the wrench, or both. Before we swap in the new filter, let's inspect the old one. We can do this by looking between the fins for any debris that might look alarming. While this oil change was at 1,000 miles on a new car, Toyota no longer recommends these types of break-in oil changes. On the one hand, we can confirm that the oil filter is definitely doing its job in capturing dirt and grime. On the other hand, oil changes are cheap and engines are expensive. Generally, I would recommend changing your oil every 5,000 miles, even if Toyota recommends 10,000. Okay, here we're removing the O-ring with a pick tool. A small flathead screwdriver works just as well. The filter kit comes with new O-rings. Put on the new O-ring and cover it with a little oil to help it seal. You'll see I kind of just rubbed the leftover oil on the new ring when seating it. The filter element fits in either direction. When placing it on, you'll feel it click into place. Then, pour some new oil into the filter to prime the filter. Lastly, the small O-ring fits right underneath where the housing drain plug will go back on. Now we're ready to put on the filter housing. Make sure the drain plug is set so that you can use that to tighten everything down. Hand tight is all you need to help out your future self. We'll continue to put everything back together, and next up is the oil pan drain plug. Toyota recommends about 30 pound-feet of torque, which is roughly hand tight plus a quarter turn. The under panel can also go back on now. Note that the longer clip is for the slot farthest back that you see me doing here first. The fourth clip is towards the middle of the panel, and I placed that one first to help hold everything up. With that done, there's just two 10mm bolts to replace. If your glove ends up ripping and ruining your shot, just rip it off like I'm doing here. The Highlander needs 5.8 quarts of oil, which we'll confirm using the owner's manual. Since we used a little oil in the filter to prime it, just make sure to keep track of that. First, I'll pour 5 quarts of oil into the car. Then, we'll check the dipstick to confirm how close we are to full. Typically, the space between the min line and the full line represents 1 quart of oil. Here, I'm about 1/4 of a quart short, so I'll top that off with my last bottle. Now we can put the oil cap back on, and we're almost done. The last thing to do is remove the jack stands, and don't forget about the wheel chocks. And that's it. Thanks for joining me today. For more DIY videos to come, stay tuned.